cleaning up your car before we start. This thing is nasty. Oh, back to what's important. It's the Sly Stone Show every Friday afternoon at 3 on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Every sound, every note, including the bass, on this track is played by a monkey.
American Hit Radio, Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Joe, that's some great piano work you're doing over there. I really liking the ivories, man. You're doing fantastic.
No, that's that roll of paper that I'm cranking at.
Oh, that's the other way of doing it, right?
You know, we are a very modern facility here. We actually have that paper-powered machine that you push the pedals and things happen. And
well, we're back on Motormouth Radio. Give us a call, 516-572-7440. Ray Guarino, Joe D.
Yeah. Let us know if you have any customer service experiences you'd like to share with us.
Let me tell you what happened. Like I said, with Vic, he was putting his harness in the car in this 56 truck, and I knew that he had the guy who semi-built the truck before him put a GM column in it. Mm-hmm. And this car has a dash-mounted key switch. I remember thinking, like, oh, did he order that column for a column switch or for a key switch? And, of course, it came in for a column switch. Mm-hmm. So I get the call. His buddy Joe calls me and asks about that was one end of it. But the other thing was the headlight switch. Mm-hmm. He didn't know the wiring, and this thing was, like, old. Luckily, having a computer available, within a few minutes, I had a picture of a headlight switch with all the call-outs, and I said, okay, I saved it to the computer. Then I went and I emailed it. I sent it to myself and I opened it on my phone, saved it, then texted it to him. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he got it. He's like, wow, that's a really good picture. I'm like, well, don't thank me. Thank
whoever website.
Ford's, right? And to diagnose it like that, we went back and forth. Now, the only problem was I was trying to work on my own car. So I'm climbing in and out of the interior, drilling, doing this, and the text goes off again. I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't need something else from the computer because that's in the basement. But there's all sorts of levels of customer service.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's always fun when you're trying to do your own thing and people are asking you questions, which I never mind when I'm at a shop and somebody comes over with a more or less completely unrelated question on a different car, but you know, then you just have to stop, mentally shift gears. Yeah, I can't multitask like that. You know what I mean? And a lot of times because you have to think something out like that, you really shouldn't be multitasking like that.
Right.
So, you know, if you got somebody that you ask a lot of questions, you might want to start by asking, you got a minute?
Yeah.
Or is this a bad time?
Sure. That's always a good thing to do, yeah.
Or you could, at the end of your request, say, you know, you can call me back in a little while. It's not life and death. You know what I mean? You know, if you're stuck on the side of the road, that's one thing. Had one of those this week.
Right. Oh, yeah, did you?
Yep. Ended up being a bad ignition module.
Okay.
On someone I know's car. And, you know, trying to walk them through it. And they're knowledgeable, but not that knowledgeable.
Right.
Like they could hold the screwdriver without putting their eye out, but, you know, actually try and troubleshoot something is another story.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
But we got them going. And luckily there was a parts store within reasonable walking distance.
Good to know.
And it was an easy enough car to work on, so it wasn't something that required reprogramming or...
Yeah, win-win-win.
Mm-hmm. That's why...
Excellent.
Yeah, let's face it, because now these days, when something goes awry and it ends up being an electronic module or something, you have to not only consider the price of the part and the labor to install that part, then you also have to consider programming.
Right.
Which normally... There's a lot of mobile techs out there. Mm-hmm. You know, like my two friends, both of them named John. Mm-hmm. That's a large part of their day. And, you know, these guys come in, and that's going to be about $200.
Wow.
At the retail level.
Right.
You know what I mean? So whatever it is, you know, add $200 to it. So hopefully whoever is installing this thing isn't making a guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they remember to price it out. You know what I mean?
Right. Remember to add that into the
right.
Into the
Well,
repair estimate.
That might be something to do. You know, especially if a shop owner's a little bit busy. You know, you're going to need a blah 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 module. Does that have to be programmed? You know what I mean? And he probably knows, or he just didn't think of it at the moment. But that little kick in the medulla oblongata there might be just the thing to save you from misjudging the pricing.
Yeah, after a while, I guess, you know, you price it out enough, you start to remember because you've done it enough times. But yeah, things can always get by, and then you have to deal with the customer later and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell you."
Yeah. That second or third phone call in from trying to fix the car could be. I don't envy the person that has to do that.
Right.
So, that's what happens sometimes with depending on what you're fighting. I had this old Ford that wouldn't pass emissions, and we were talking about a little bit about the monitor setting, and one of the things that happens with depending on the car company is that you fix a code, you fix something, and you take the car out, and one or two things will happen. You either pop a different code. Like a very popular thing that happens is that you'll have a oxygen sensor code, and I'm kind of doing this generically here, but you fix the oxygen sensor, and now you have a catalytic converter code, which the computer never checks for because it knows it couldn't trust the oxygen sensor.
Yeah.
So, then you got to make that phone call.
Yeah. It's like next level diagnostics. Well, one thing goes, and then you clear that. But now the computer knows, like, okay, we're going to look at that, but not yet. We're going to look when this thing's fixed. We're going to look at the next thing,
right?
And then, of course, it flags.
It's very bureaucratic.
Well, but it does make sense. It makes sense in the tree of things,
right? And unfortunately, you don't want to do that to the customer, but it's like, hey, you bought me into 20-year-old vehicle. And, there's 19 things wrong with it.
Right.
And you only want me to get it to pass inspection by fixing 3 of them.
Yeah, which...
the math doesn't work.
May be impossible to do, right?
Yeah. No, I actually had that at one point with one guy. He was like, look, I can't do anything more. This car needs a catalytic converter. Do not talk to me until can't you? No.
Yeah.
That's it. At some point you're going to have to, spend the money. But it's a 20-year-old truck.
Hey, I noticed something when I was down in Virginia this week. I saw quickly their inspection program. They do 2-year inspections, and they're $28. It's as opposed to our $37 for a year. So interesting. And it made me think. I may look this up. I wonder what the protocol is state by state. How different they are across this.
Some states have no inspections at all.
Well, I know that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in other places these days. New York is one of the states that does safety and emissions,
right?
And some states, because of their emission level of the neighborhood, or not the neighborhood, of the region, they do emissions of some type or another.
Right.
But they don't do safety.
It's like what happened with my daughter's SUV with the bald tires on the back. That, which I was monitoring, but. Not as, I couldn't do it closer. It came up that was something I said to her. That's something that they would typically find on a safety inspection.
Sure.
Tell you you need tires. But this safety inspection is taking us back to the phones where we say hi. You're on to Motor Mouths.
Guys, Billy G.
Hey,
Billy. What's up, man?
I know it's the end of the show, alive and well, and just checking in, okay?
Excellent.
Always good to hear, no matter what time you call, Bill.
And just, Memorial Day, let's not forget it's about those that
absolutely not
served and passed. So
say it.
Got that right, Bill.
Everything's good, though. All right, we'll be in touch.
Okay, very good, Billy. We look forward to speaking to you
good
again.
Good to hear from
later.
you, Bill.
Take care, man. Same here. Thank
all
you.
right,
take care.
Bye
bye. Always good to hear from Billy.
Yep, and he's right. We should not forget those. We should not forget those who've fallen in service of our country.
Right. That's right. Because there's always stuff going on, and there's stuff behind us, stuff ahead of us, stuff among us. So that's exactly right.
Yeah,
Billy's a great statesman for that. That's he's the guy I want.
You want him. You want him in your corner. Definitely, he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming up, we don't have a guest schedule right now. We're rebooking. We're booking now for June, and there's a couple of hooks out in the water. I did contact the guy from AC Pro, Bobby Elks, to see if we could talk about that again because
it's AC season.
Right, that's what made me think of it. He's come on the show a few times over the past years to talk about that, and who better than him?
Yep.
And then there's a few other irons in the fire I have out there that people are tentative. They haven't given me dates yet, but we will get them. We'll get them scheduled, get them on.
You haven't sent Uncle Nino to the door yet.
No, that happens later. Yeah, that's the next.
Yeah, you're coming on the show, right? You're going to show up. You don't want to disappoint Ray and Joe, you know.
Right. Yeah, we should come back later. Maybe not. So
So
that's
well, we'll just keep working on that. That's all.
Right. So I guess the takeaway from this show is be safe when you're driving. Be cognizant of the other drivers around. Drive like you're driving a big rig. Learn what your inspection monitors mean, and don't get ticked off when they tell you we have to do that.
Don't bring your car. Don't bring your car in 2 days from the end of the month or a day from the end of the month.
That's it. My car is due. The car with the year-long check engine light is now due in June. Mm-hmm. So the beginning of this month, I'm going to act on that and do something. I guess I'll go over and see our good friend Barry and tell him, hey, listen, keep it for a while. See what you can, if you can get to the bottom of this problem. Yeah. And then we'll fix it and we'll go from there.
Well, yeah, we'll find something. It's either that or, I got some really good black tape.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, but like you said, the computer, once you plug the scanner in, that monitor don't lie. It tells you what's going on.
It's real funny. People, I don't have a check engine light. Meanwhile, there's a picture of their dog.
Right.
There's tape. There's all kinds of stuff. But it's like, dude, I could still see the yellow glow. And the computer, and the state computer says you got it on. So you know what? Tough.
Right.
No sticker for you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
So, let's see what we can dig up for next week. And
we'll see. Well, I don't know. Like I said, what happens is from the Thursday night show that I do at Luz Santiago.
That's a gold mine.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of guests from them already. And there's a few, again, that are we had the fellow on from Hushmat. And he wants to come back to talk about that, was it Zycoat or Z-Coat product that he has?
Yes.
Because they were launching that in June.
That sounded very interesting. Yeah.
So, again, I threw him an email and said, listen, you're launching in June. Let's get you back on and give me a date.
Sure.
So, again, I haven't heard back yet. And, of course, the AC Pro guy. And there's a few others that I'm looking back to. I like to revisit the old guests because we like to keep them in the family, so to speak.
Sure.
Other than that, we're always looking for new guests, too. So if you, we're always scouting. People send word of mouth and tell us who's what's where, and, we're always...
And don't forget, call in, ask questions.
Well, that, too. The question thing is always big. That's what helped last week. Just made the show go so fast.
Yeah, we want to, if there's something you want to ask us. I mean, I try to answer stuff off the top of my head if I can give people the right answer.
That's right.
And if I don't know, I could research it, or Ray could research it, and we will get back to you, through the website, through email.
I have something in my bag. Somebody, who was it that sent us an email during the week about was it a Ford with an AC problem? Remember that? It was
what's with the Escape, the Ford Escape there. Yeah,
I just saw it in my bag. I'm like, oh, that's right. That's only good if he calls. I forget who it was, but a call. And Joe and I both did our due diligence. We did research, and I have a printout in there.
Yeah, that's a thing where the receiver dryer goes kablooey.
Exactly.
And you end up having to change the receiver dryer, the H valve.
Right.
Something else, too. Plus, there's a lot of flushing to be done.
Right. Well, yeah, you could go to Flushing, I guess, and you could do it there, too, if you'd like.
Yeah. You could have them while you wait. Yeah.
Some dim sum, maybe. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I knew you were going to, so
Good
it's
thing
okay.
I'm going to a barbecue.
Yeah, seriously. Bring it.
I hope Rob remembers that we have to have Kim's show, because I don't know if we have that here, and hopefully he'll be bringing that in.
Yeah, that's right. Where did you stick Kim? Or where did he stick Kim?
I don't know. I don't know where she gets into she can get into the smallest places because she's she's not an overly large individual, so she can fit into a lot of cool small spots.
Right.
But maybe that's
somebody should be fitting behind the console right about now, huh?
That's correct. Maybe what you could do, Joe, is go out and find Rob and ask him if he knows if he has Kim's show ready to go, because I'm going to play our outro, and after that, there's going to be like nothing happening. So,
well. Maybe we should just keep... Yeah, you know what? Let me go run outside and grab him by the scruff of the neck there.
All right. And for that, I will start playing our... we're at the end of the show, so I'll play our outro and say that Motormouth Radio closing out this Memorial Day weekend. Be safe. Have a good time. For Joe D., Ray Guarino. We will be back again next week, hopefully with a guest. Maybe we'll get Artie Schilling to call in next week. Until then, be safe. See you. Bye.